Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. That's right, we're doing it on June the 11th, 2025. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, down south in the United States of America, further down south, Mexico, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, the Swiss Alps, my Italians over there in the Congo, over there in Dominican Republic, the islands, mine, Wagwan, to everybody. Oh, it's good to be alive and kicking. We got a sip of this bad boy right here before we get into it, because Daddy's running on fumes. Daddy's running on, man. Daddy didn't catch no sleep last night because Daddy had a great night, a fun night, and a really exhilarating night. We'll get right into it. Today's gonna be all over the place, just because Daddy, again, it's been, we'll recap everything. We'll go through as many things as we can together, but allow me to just quick sip on the old caffeine for your throaty throat. Wherever you are, I hope you had a great weekend. Hope your week started off well too. But what happened in my life? What happened? Thank you for asking. It was Monday morning. It always goes back to the old Monday. Got an email. Are you avails to go up and do a little 5-minute sesh on Tuesday evening? I'm like, yes! Right there, responding. Email sent. Spot on the old lineup reserved. Thank you very much. I went out last night. Thank you to Yuck Yucks Comedy Club here in Toronto, downtown Toronto, on Richmond Street. Thank you for all the staff, the beautiful people that showed up, the hosts, the headliners. You always hear about the headliners. Nobody talks about the bottom liners or the midliners. But nonetheless, thank you everybody for coming out. I had a fantastic time. I hope everybody else enjoyed the show as well. It was a great vibe. Great experience. Just moving along, learning and growing and having growth spurts. And again, it is the most exhilarating thing. I can't explain it unless you've done it. It's up there. It's right there. It's sex and then it's stand-up or stand-up sex. It's right there. Everything else way below, but these two are right there. But I would say, according to the past 4 or 5 years now, I'd say for me it's been stand-up then sex too, because sex is definitely taking a backseat, but nonetheless, the replacement is worth it. 5 minutes of going out there, bearing whatever is in your heart and mind, and then hoping for good results, great results, or you give it your best, and then you learn and you grow and you have fun. But again, no sleep. So today's going to be an extra loose day. We'll see wherever it goes. It shall go in that direction. And that's what it is. Because, it's all, I will say that I'll say this. One thing that Toronto, we got to do better with parking overall in life. And this is not just a Toronto issue. This is not just a Canadian issue. This is not just about parking in general. It needs to be cheaper, man. It needs to be way cheaper. Because your boy spent 24 doll hairs on the old parking spot, which right now it might not seem like a lot to you guys out there, or it might, I don't know, wherever you are, but yeah, 24 bucks for parking, but nonetheless, well worth it. Had a lot of fun, so thank you very much to everybody who came out, and it's onwards and upwards, as they say. What else is going on in and around the world? I'll say this, over the weekend, over this past weekend, I will say this, some evil forces were perhaps conspiring because perhaps somebody may have, online, somebody in the past few weeks may have spoken about watching the old UFCs through streaming platforms or websites that you can live stream pay-per-view events for freezies, of course, for those individuals who are not able to, pay the however much it costs, because life is fucking expense. But nonetheless, but yeah, somebody may have put it out there, and because it's not about me. This isn't about me. It's about that young lady over there, outside in the streets, who's looking forward to watching UFC events, but perhaps she can't afford to pay for pay-per-views right now. But down the line, she will reimburse somehow through either talking about it, to making the sport flourish even more through talking and spreading the good news and the excitement that surrounds this beautiful sport of ours, this beautiful thing of ours. Like how we use ours right here, like we partake ours as a spectator who enjoys the, you know what I'm talking, it's fandom, it's a glorious sport, it's wonderful, it is. But yes, somebody may have spoken about that, the websites that are available so that you could go check out these beautiful sporting events. And all of a sudden, this past weekend, somebody may have tried to go online and just innocently watch her favorite sport, one of her favorite sporting events. It's a she. This isn't about me. This isn't about me. It's about Bridget. Bridget wanted to watch, or Nancy wanted to watch UFC 316, but she got online and she noticed that her favorite websites were taken down or not available at the time being, and she searched deep and wide and far and near and far, and all that, she couldn't find anybody that was streaming them, and it sucked and it broke her heart because she was looking forward to watching all the greats get up there. Kayla Harris said, Nancy might have a crush on Kayla Harris said, I'm not speaking, but I'm just saying I could perhaps, and others too, and other ladies too. Or how about little Johnny over there, who's looking up to these, great fighters and wants to perhaps become a fighter himself, or maybe just, it's just nice to watch people take martial arts to the next level. Did little Johnny get his heart broken because he didn't get the chance to watch Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili? For sure, Johnny Boy got his heart broken because he was looking forward to watching superstars go at it. Again, Sean O'Malley versus Sugar Sean versus Merab Dvalishvili. Merab Shimala Devishlish you know what I'm talking. If we ever see each other in person, do not Marab. Now talks are being, opinions are being spouted out there. Maybe one of the greats to one of the greatest of great. They're all great. They're all fucking great. Putting everything on the line. Marab Devishmili. Nonetheless, little Johnny couldn't get access to his favorite website, so he didn't get a chance to watch. And later on, when he went online, maybe perhaps I'm just extrapolating from what might be going on amongst the populace. He might have been online trying to look for highlights, at least, to watch the greats go at it. Sean O'Malley versus Murad Demishmilishi. That's right, Demishmilishi Shameli. That's right, but he couldn't, and it sucks. But there's hope out there. There's hope. There's, we hope that it comes to Netflix like wrestling did, so that people could enjoy it for affordable price, or perhaps we hope that it gets brought up online on streaming platforms once again. Perhaps little Johnny should try a different VPN next time. Note to self and others. Just saying. Demishbilishi. Shimele dum shimele. What is going on over here in Canada? I'll say this: there's been a little bit of I don't know what's going on, ladies and gents. We've apparently had wildfires over the past few weeks or so, and I noticed, just like many of you guys here in Toronto, I believe we've had northern parts of Saskatchewan and maybe other provinces too. We have wildfires, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna say it. I believe a couple of people were arrested. This is what I do know. Few people were arrested because they were charged with being arsonists or pyromaniacs out there, one of the two. People who like to start fires. And this is the shit that just twists my titties, because it's events like this, it's moments like this where we're all, the virtue signaling, climate change, people will jump, oh, it's climate change. It's motherfuckers who are setting forest on fires. We need better forest management. That's what we need. Because in Canada, I don't know if you guys are familiar now, the way we're geographically located, it's pretty cold and it's quite moist. So the further up you go, the colder it gets, and it's pretty cold. And our forests are, it's because it's huge. Canada's huge. I haven't been way up in the forest areas, in the jungles, in the bush, if you will, but it's pretty dense and it gets covered in snow and ice. So whoever is starting these fires we need to keep a better eye out on these folks. We need better park rangers. That's what we do need. We don't need somebody talking about, the climate change. No, how about we manage our parks and forests better? That's what we do need. Apparently like 200 fires that I didn't even know about, but I noticed that a few of my neighbors walked out, like, oh, you noticed the old smoke in the chitty, walking in the city, getting your smoke in your eyes, a teardrop goes down your face. Is it the bills that are coming at you at the end of the month like it's war, or is it just smog in your eyes? Smoke in the chitty. What is it? Who knows? Who knows what the cause is? I'm gonna put my money on the money that I don't have. I'm gonna put it on the old arsonists and nature vandals, little fucking lighter babies, the ones that like to light shit on fire. We need better eyes on the ground, man. We need to hire more. And again, I'm using the collective we because I don't have any personnel in my life to just allocate to the forest. I don't have people working here. This is a one-man operation. So one-man operation, we don't have too many people that we can allocate to the forest. But we need park rangers. We need people to friggin' or put the drones in the forests. Put a couple of drones. Put a couple of monkeys. Import a couple of monkeys from abroad. I don't know where you want to get them from. Somewhere where they have monkeys. Attach them to drones. Have them, instead of the monkeys, equip the drones with ample amounts of bananas. Have the monkeys fly over the forest. Train them that if they see anybody about to spark a match or light a fire or whatever, that's not for recreational purposes, like i.e. camping. Outside of that, these monkeys should be on drones and just flicking feces from above onto the faces of those individuals who are perpetrators of fires who make the weather not so breathable. Of course, I don't care because I smoke cigarettes, so that to me is nothing. It's not a big deal, but I worry about others who might have sensitive lungs. This guy, I'm all, water sign, but deep down inside, all about that burning fire. So whatever we got to do, just send a couple of guys out with tasers, but just get a couple of gals out there. I'm talking, we equip them because it's summer. That happens in the summertime. All right, we equip them with beautiful, sexy bikinis. All right, Canadian park rangers. And I believe we do need to expand our horizon and seek new jobs out there as well. All right, it's not like there's plenty of jobs out there, so we need to create more jobs. The forest needs attending to. Get more than a couple. Get 1,000 of these hot chicks. All right, type bikinis. I'm talking Brazilian bikinis because it's hot out here in the summertime, despite the reputation of the old north being cold and cruel at times. It is in summertime, it does get quite warm. So we equip them with these Brazilian bikinis, ample amounts of lotion. If somebody needs, if they need assistance to be lotioned up, because I need my park forest rangers to be fucking lotioned up. And if we don't have enough people out there to lotion these ladies, and you're wondering how do we allocate that much money and manpower, we can't have both the group of female park rangers spending all that money on the Brazilian bikinis and still have enough money left over to hire somebody to come and lotion them up with water resistant and fire retardant lotions. I will step up fine, despite the fact that I'm 2 shows per week right now. Yes, despite the fact that I gotta do whatever it takes to get through the day by day, and it's a no matter what doesn't, I'm not gonna make excuse. I will show up myself. If I need to, I will roll up my sleeves. And you're like, and I know what you're thinking out there. You're saying, Robbie boy, there's got to be other people we could put on the force that can lube up these ladies. I say it maybe so, but if they aren't willing to roll up their sleeves and walk up to the front of the line and say, hey, ladies and also nature, I'm availables. I will lather these tits up with as much lotion as possible, and I will gladly watch them run off to the forest frolicking in their tiny Brazilian bikinis, powered by water guns and just hoses, if you know what I'm talking about, ready to put out a fire should they see one. And I'll be waiting. So when they return with their tired legs and even tireder tits, I can, if you're tired of carrying your tits around from putting out all our forest fires in the great, beautiful, true north, let me just tell you, I am here, and I've got two hands that are more than willing to assist any tired tit. I will hold it up, sister. I will hold it up. You need a massage, I will massage a couple of tits. And this isn't for me. No, of course. This is sometimes we gotta just set aside our differences or our similarity and say, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So if I see that you guys come up with these 1,000, 2,000 female park rangers, you guys come up with that, and I will come up with I'll just be in the background supporting. No need to be in the spotlight or anything, but I'll be there, ready to just, if anybody gets cramped up in their buttocks region, if anybody's getting that gluteus, because they can get tight walking up hills in boots, sweat dripping down your delicious inner thighs. And I'm not here to say that I like the inner thighs. I do, but this isn't about that. I'm not getting any pleasure out of this. No more than the average person. Maybe a little bit more, who knows? But nonetheless, all I'm saying is I'm here. Put these forest rangers out there. Let's just get it under control before we start spewing shit out. And it's climate change. A couple of motherfuckers are starting fires. That's what that is. Ladies and gents, how to drink piss. Of course, you may have been thinking about this deeply on a very, on a scale that I can't even begin to explain. But you must feel it inside. Just one of those thoughts that goes through your mind, like, how do I drink piss? There's many ways one can split a rose. There's many ways that one can skin a cat, which is fucking inhumane, or in animal. This doesn't concern humans, but I don't know why people have done that or do that, or why they even came up with that saying. Leave the cat with the skin. I don't want to see skinless cats. That's disgusting. But nonetheless, the phrase does, it's got a little nugget of truth. There's many ways as to go about and drink piss. One is to, of course, find an individual other than yourself to be willing to donate their urine. If you're male, preferably you'd find a female who's willing to donate her piss. She can piss in a bottle. You can refrigerate it. That way you can have plenty of piss to drink throughout the day if you like. A lot of people are like, I don't know, do I go hot piss, room temp piss, cold piss? To be honest with you, there's no one way of doing it. Like I said in the beginning, my suggestion to you out there, and thank you for this great question. If you are wondering, how could I drink piss? How do I know what's right for me? I say test it all out. Get fresh, warm piss out of a vag. Conversely, if you're a female, you're like, how do I drink? Get a fella who's willing to donate, And there's plenty of people out there. You can find somebody. Get hot piss out the old cack, out the old vag. Drink it right there, raw dog it. And that's warm piss. Just kind of like, splish splash in the old mouth region just to see, do you prefer that? Then I would say get some piss out of the old vag, out of the old cock, pour it in a cup, leave it on the counter, come back later in the day. Room temp piss, just like mouthwash, just kind of splish slash sploosh, get a little taste, see how that sits on your palate. Maybe room temp's the one for you, and I do recommend you try all of the above. Of course, pour some in a cup and then leave it in a bottle and leave it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge. Come back a few days later once it's cooled down. It is nice and refreshing. Then take a sip of that, and now you're drinking cold piss, and you can decide, because otherwise, how are you gonna know which one's your favorite without actually testing it out? So please don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in a box. And society demands that I drink warm piss or room temp piss, depending on wherever you are in the world and how your society is. Coming down with the expectations and restrictions. So try it all out. It's all out. It is summertime, of course. I prefer you go out there and put it in the fridge and make it colder. You could actually freeze them as well. You can definitely make pissicles, which are like basically piss popsicles. You can put them on an ice cube tray, put it in the old freezer, and you can even mix it with other drinks as well. Water. I know you got to drink a lot of water, but it tastes like nothing. I wish there was something that could add a little bit of some to the old flavor of water, so it can go down a little bit easier. I'm telling you. Make ice cubes out of piss cubes, and put them in, or just it's so easy to get popsicle sticks and pop them in there, freeze them, take them out, licky, you could just have it that way. Winter time, that's the best way to get fresh piss. That's when you go right to the source. That's when you just find that individual who's willing to donate, or if you got a lover in your life, that's the best sort of access. Just have them straight. I'm talking peen to mouth, vag to mouth, and that is probably the best and safest way to get the most organic and freshest kind of piss in your mouth. But again, test it all out. There's imports, there's exported stuff as well. Try it all out. I'm not telling you to limit yourself. It is a whole world waiting for you to discover it, and don't limit yourself, and don't be, I don't know if it's for me or not. Until you try it, you don't know. Everybody was squeamish, when seafood when sushi made its way to the West. At first, everybody was like, what is this? Next thing you know, it's sushi heaven. It's sushi city all day, every day. Every city's got sushi joints in it now. Wasn't the case maybe 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, I don't know how many years ago. It wasn't the case, but eventually people grew to like it. Or you try a little bit of what is this? Oh, I like my steak well done. Well, have you tried steak with blood in it? That's good too. You give that a try. Actually, you're like, I like my steak raw, and don't cook it at all. I'll just take the steak right off the calves of the old cow and just raw steak for this guy. So expand your horizon, your palate. It is always growing. Do not limit yourself. What you liked when you were younger is no longer the case, and it will continue to change as well as you grow older and older and older. What else is going on in and around the world, ladies and gentlemen? I believe, this is the thing. If we were all, it would have been nice if we could all just put all our differences aside and all work together, globally speaking. That sometimes it is that way, sometimes it ain't. And there's many arms races going on simultaneously. There's the technology AI arms race, the next arms race, the space race is also going on, but there's also the underwater space races going on as well. I just read about this. China is apparently planning on building a deep sea space station 6,000 feet below the water. 6,000, I forget the exact number, somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 feet deep. And this is going to be happening apparently by 2030. I don't know how that makes me feel. Makes me feel like we here in the United States and Canada, and Canada and the United States, North America, you know what I'm talking about? Siamese twins. We've got to get in there. We've got to go deep sea space station building as well. So recruit the people that you need to recruit. I don't know, find people with, if you find somebody, right now is the prime time to find people who are water people. You know what I'm talking about. Them people who got the pools in the backyard. Want to go a little bit deeper? There's a program available to you. Go to the beaches. There's plenty of people who like to get wet and who like to dry off as well. But then who'd like to get wet once again after they've dried off and maybe had a little sippy poo or the old drinky poo. Quench their thirst, little sandwich, little bite of sandwich here, a little licky of the old ice cream there, back into the old water once again, playing frisbee to dry off, back into the water again. I say we recruit these water fiends and put them to use. Oh, I gotta just be swimming all the time. I gotta do laps. We'll do laps under the really deep below into the water, because I can't have the CCP getting in there and putting space stations deep into the depths of the water without us having also put our space stations into the water as well. Deep sea space stations. That's something that's happening. It'd be, because that's the thing. You'd be swimming one day, next thing you know, you happen to just go really deep below, and you don't want to get caught off guard. You don't want to just get surprised, because people be, you know, deep diving all the time sometimes, and you know, you might deep dive on a regular day and you're like, you know, it's a squid here, it's a jellyfish right there, you know, go for a swim, get stung by a jellyfish, you know, sink a couple of feet below the waves, sink a little bit further this time. Or, you know, you might have a liken to get tangled up with the old octopus, and you might just go for a little swim. And typically this happens all the time. This happens all the time, and you go down there, you see little crabs, and you see little lobsters, and you see little different kinds of fish, and it's beautiful. But you're gonna freak out once you see a beautiful Chinese person underneath the water in a deep sea space station, because that wasn't there before, and you're like, oh, what is this? I didn't even know this existed 6,000 feet deep into the well. It will, and you're gonna want to have, you know, because we're gonna need to put Starbucks underneath the water, man. We're gonna need to put some McDonald's underneath there too, because what if the water turns Chinese, and then you get in there and then the fish are only speaking Cantonese and Mandarin, which is completely cool, but like we also need to make the fish, and because they're quick learners. You've seen how they develop, regenerating their arms, their limbs. The whales are apparently singing and shit. Who knows what language they're singing in? We got to get in there, make sure it's not some sort of like, you know, it's some difficult language to decipher. We need to be teaching these water animals essentially English, is what I'm trying to tell you. So get in there, put people who like moisture in the water. I don't want to see anybody this summer spending too much time at the beaches. Just gather them all. If anybody, people who also like to go on cruises, people who like to go on the water and do water sports, people who like to go to the Niagara Falls, and get those folks. People who like to be wet, people who drink water also, you know what I mean? The wet freaks. Oh, I gotta get hydrated. Yeah, well, go deeper then, because your country needs you. Western society needs you. Put on a wetsuit, or do it in the nude. I don't care, preferably nude, because we like to. It's dark, then it's hard to see what's going on. So if you're wearing a dark wetsuit, it'd be kind of hard to tell where you are. So I like everybody to be nude, specifically the ladies, preferably the ladies, because we all know ladies are way more buoyant because of their tits and the fact that they can probably breathe underwater, and that's why they have vaginas, so that they can breathe underwater. But we've deprived them of that, haven't we? We've kept them on land for far too long. But the vagina it's a way you can breathe through your entire body. It's just like a nose or a mouth, but on the other side of your body. So put these ladies to good use is all I'm trying to say, because who knows what the CCP is going to be doing underwater next. But we could also be all working together, one step at a time. Who knows? Who knows? What else is going on, ladies and gents? I believe, speaking of water, there have been signs of cocaine sharks showing up off the coast of Brazil. Brazil's quite large, so I don't know exactly which region of Brazil, but they found these sharks who are doing lines of cocaine, or, you know, different variations of cocaine. How did they get the cocaine? How did they get the cocaine? Well, monkey see, monkey do, right? They've probably seen us collectively, not me personally. I've never done cocaine, but they've probably seen you guys, some of you guys and gals. out there do cocaine. No judgment or anything. I'm just not for me. I've already coffee, weed, and cigs is enough to get the stand up and overall podcasting and living the funnel free life is good enough for your boy. Don't need any extra pep in my step. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna have to jack off 4 or 5 times to fall asleep next time. So no cane for this guy, but I appreciate people who use whatever. It's a free world or a free country or whatever. So do whatever you like. The point is, they might be seeing us living the old, Miami Vice life. Maybe they too want to drive around in a Cadillac with the top down and pick up a couple of bitches and do a couple of lines off each other's backs and maybe do a little bit of sex with the old cocaine. Who knows? Maybe sharks have seen us put cocaine in each other's butts and do stuff to each other's butts with cocaine in it. Maybe they too have seen us grab a little vial, open it up and sniff it and go on the dance floor and have a great time and pass out 72 hours later. Maybe they too want to have a disco ball under the sea and just go into a bathroom and snort a couple of lines and blow a couple of fellow sharks in the same bathroom, in the same sex bathroom. Maybe the sharks have seen us go to a couple of gas stations, find a glory hole or two, snort a couple of lines, blow a couple of dudes, and get back in your car and drive off into the sunset, wake up in Guatemala. Maybe they too want to get in their cars and go to a gas station underwater and blow a couple of dudes, or give a couple of hand jobs to a couple of ladies, just go down on a lady you don't even know. Maybe they too want to do that. How are they getting access to the cocaine? That's a different story. I don't exactly know. It's not something that I've purchased or looked into, but I believe it's out there. If you want to find it, you'll find it. If you want to look for it, you can look for it. What I do enjoy, though, I'll say this: I do enjoy songs about cocaine. Very catchy, extremely. There's a few country songs, few hit songs in hip hop as well. A lot of songs in hip hop as well that contain cocaine. I'm not advocating for it, but they're very catchy. What can I say? I will say this though. These sharks maybe they're selling cocaine. Maybe there's a Scarface of the sharks down there, who's wheeling and dealing. Maybe they're producing it themselves. Or perhaps the logical explanation could be that we as a populace, as just enormous amount of cocaine usage that goes in our bodies, our collective bodies, and then we take a piss in the old toilets. And we flush them, and then it gets flushed into the sewage system, and we don't have the mechanism to actually flush, or rather to get rid of the cocaine from the water. So it just goes back into the ocean somehow without it being cleared of cocaine. And the sharks are basically getting liquid cocaine in their system, and they're staying up and partying, no longer showing up to their job, no longer looking after their families. Their kids are outside also doing God knows what with God knows who at all times, hours of the day. It's actually it's kind of like the 80s crack epidemic, but for sharks. And I know you're like, I'm not a shark, I don't care. Well, that makes sense. Why should you? I get it, you're not a shark and neither am I, but it's just, if they're doing coke, we've seen Jaws, we've seen Shark Week, plural, because there's many of them. Do we need sharks to be more aggro? Do we need more sharks to be more confident? Do we need more sharks to come up with things that they think are great ideas at the time just because they're high out of their mind? Or do we need sharks that we can rely on? Dependable sharks who put on a suit and get up and shave and shit and get back to work. Sharks who know what it means to be a part of a family and a society. Sharks that attend church every now and again at least. Sharks that, donate a little bit of money to a charity. Sharks that like to go out there and adopt other sharks who are in need of care. Sharks who aren't afraid of rolling up their sleeves and working a good 9 to 5 and earning a hard-earned dollar. Sharks who like to play hard and work even harder. So what kind of sharks do you like? That's the kind of question I like to ask you. I'll put it out there to the audience. It's your bed, make it. Or whatever the saying is in regards to beds. It's your bed, fuck in it. It's not your bed. It's a motel room bed, whatever, it's good enough. Just put a towel down. All over the place today, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, running on the old fields in the chitty. We've done some great things here in Canada, and we're known for many of things. I'm not gonna go through all the great things we've done because we've done the arm on the space station. Thank you, Canada. You're welcome, world. Poutines, you're welcome, world. Hockey, you're welcome. Basketball, also, you're welcome. Canadian invention, I know the NBA. It's in the US. Got a lot of love for the US, but it was a Canadian dude, if I'm not mistaken, who made basketball. All right? And many other great things. Many other great things. Like the toque. Amongst those great inventions, we've also now collected here in Mississauga and out in the GTA, in the Greater Toronto Area. In Mississauga, we noticed that there are crips, these little crips or children who are crippled, who are having a difficult time walking. Because you'll see regular kids just walking, just having, just walking. I walk regular because I'm a regular kid. I'm walking regularly walking. Regular walking kids, because they see, and then you got these crippled kids. These crippled kids, like, I'm walking regular. You got those kids who are trying to walk regularly, but they can't because it's not their fault. It's not their fault they were made that way. But guess what? In Canada, in Mississauga, a bunch of beautiful scientists, myself included, I was in the periphery. I'm always in the periphery of things. Not in the center of it, at least in the periphery. Came up with an electronic exoskeleton that assists these beautiful kids and aids them in their walking. Okay, it's these exoskeleton walkers for disabled kids. We've created that. And you're like, wonderful. Now these crippled kids, these little crips, can go and walk and go to places like the other kids. You'd think the story would end there. You'd think that it was happily ever after. I'm here to tell you that everything begins and ends with acquiring money and shit. Technology is good. Does it work? You bet your ass it works, because it's fucking Canadian built, motherfucker. Does it make the kids walk? Yeah, it makes them walk. Can their parents leave them alone for a few seconds? You'd fucking bet your ass they can. Can they play catch now? Not there yet, but maybe one day. But guess what? These walkers, these beautiful exoskeletons, despite the fact that we have the technology and we've made them, it costs a lot of money, and not all the parents have the ability to afford these exoskeletons, and they're gonna have to go and sell their booty to be able to get these exoskeleton walkers for their kids. So I don't know what we're gonna have to do, but somehow we're gonna have to get the government of Canada to subsidize or to fund these exoskeletons, because that's, what's the alternative, I ask you, ladies and gents? We leave these kids to their own demise and have them walk ever so slowly in a very awkward fashion and just block traffic, and us pretending like they're not there, just brush them under the rug. You can't brush people under the rug. People are 3D, 4D objects, 5D, there's a whole bunch of dimensions to people. Rugs are like laying flat on the ground. How are you gonna put people under a rug, man? It's almost impossible unless there was some sort of gap between the rug and the area that you're laying it on top of. Then in fact, if the rug is actually on top, if it's an extremely large rug, then we could, and if we need a huge mop or like a you know, like a broomstick to like kind of like just sweep them under this extremely large rug. But the amount of money we'd have to spend on this large rug and giant sweeping device, which who's gonna handle that? Like, then you're gonna have to develop a huge human or, you know, or an automaton to go out there and maneuver this giant broomstick. It's just a whole thing. So instead of wasting money on these wasteful, frivolous activity, let's just fund these kids and their families and pay for it somehow through taxing something that we've already taxed. Let's put some money to good use and help these kids. I don't know how, but I'm tired of seeing crippled kids walk around at an extremely slow rate. I like to see them pick up the pace a little bit, and you know, so I don't know what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to just let's just do it somehow. I don't know, we got plenty of money. It doesn't even look, the tech is fantastic. I'm sure there's a lot of work that went into it. Again, as a scientist from periphery, I can tell that there's always hard work being done. I don't know the exact work of this particular project, but I'm sure it took a lot of time and energy to come up with the technology and the, you know. But nonetheless, we've got it now. So let's just grab the money from somewhere, print it out. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the future of our country and our world. So it can happen in Canada today. Tomorrow it can go down to the US. The next day down in Mexico. The day after that in Asia. The day after that in Africa. All crippled kids walking with exoskeleton walkers at a much faster rate than they were walking before. Less dependent on their families and friends. You know, doing more than they were able to before. Way more. The downside of this, the tech gets really sophisticated. These are the first humans that have actually been merged with exoskeletons. They get a head start. 50 years down the line, they're the ruling class because they have really, you know, fucking gotten in tuned with the exoskeletons, and maybe they're now hardwired with some sort of chip in their brain, so they're half man, half robot. And they're taking it out on us because they remember the time that we decided not to fund them. So fund them now before it's too late, before these seemingly weak kids today, they may seem weak today, but they might grow up to be extremely powerful tomorrow. Let's just make sure we're on the right side of that. And that's how you drink coffee. Always make sure to choke on your coffee, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not choking, if it's not going down the line, the wrong pipe, then you're really not tasting the old flavor of caffeine. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe there's a problem that we do have with some of our birds. As you may have heard, there are bald eagles out there flying around, spreading their wings. Majestic, yes. Mighty, of course. Symbolic in many ways, yes. The eagle represents freedom, power, authority, all-seeing, and all of the other things too. Despite the fact that they have all these great attributes, they are bald. And it's 2025, ladies and gentlemen. It breaks my heart to see these bald eagles do all this great work and not get the benefit of modern technology. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Turkey has developed a great way to give hair transplants to humans. And I'm sure we here in the West have also acquired these technologies and can do a great job, but probably at a more expensive price tag. But nonetheless, isn't it time that we either gather all our bald eagles and send them to Turkey and have them come back with fresh looking hair? Or perhaps build facilities here in the West, like places like Canada and the United States, so that our bald eagles can get hair transplants, so that they can really fully develop into the beings that they were meant to be. Hairy eagles, head full of hair eagles. How magnificent are they flying now? Quite magnificent, you say. Now imagine them flying with the head full of hair. How great is that? You're like, it was already a 10. Well, it's a fucking, like, it's more than a 10 now, isn't it? Yes, you're hard right now thinking about it. These beautiful eagles flying with the wind in their hair, just feeling fucking great. And again, I don't know, maybe they can get on hymns. Maybe they can, again, I recommend we just go full transplant. Take them. It's a weekend getaway. It's just like 3 weeks or something. I've heard you could do it in a couple of weeks. It's a vacation. It's a package. You go get some drinks. You eat good food. You get a shawarma. You get a monkey on your lap. You hook up with a Turkish lady. You come back with a couple of mysterious STDs. It's all good. Next thing you know, bandage comes off. Baseball cap off. Bald eagle no longer bald. Walking around with more confidence. Able to go off and walk and talk with other members of the community, make connections, finally apply for that job that he or she may have thought is not good enough for. Guess what? They feel confident enough and they can go do that now. Fantastic. So I recommend it's time. So right now, if you know somebody and this again is, it all starts grassroots. It all starts at a, just base level, just, hitting the pavement, heading out into the streets and talking to the people in your jurisdiction, speaking to your constituents, speaking to local politicians against local level, and then we can grow this movement bigger, faster, and stronger, and finally make it so that our bald eagles can get the help that they need. A head full of hair. Either that or we give them steroids. Why don't they work out so that they're bulkier at least? You know what I mean? Because it's either or. If we're not willing to spend a couple of doll hairs for our beautiful feather friends, then give them the steroids that they need. Don't you want to see an eagle be more majestic? Forget the hair then. If that costs way too much, I say we give them steroids. Inject the bald eagles with massive amounts of steroids. Have them do lats, have them do pull downs, couple of squats, and deadlifts wouldn't hurt either. Next thing you know, it's just Eagle City with giant quads, eating turkey legs out of a KFC turkey leg bucket. Does KFC even serve turkey? I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's not the point. The point is, our Eagles deserve better. Ladies and gents, our Eagles deserve better. I did manage to record the set from last night, which I'm happy about because there have been instances in the past where your boy may have gotten up there and pressed the button and it didn't record, which was kind of a letdown. But this time your boy got the old, I got no image, but no visual, but you'll hear the sounds. It's recorded. I will upload that tomorrow. I've kept that for tomorrow because I'm like, I was deciding to be honest with you. I'm like, should I just drop it like it's hot today's or drop it like it's hot tomorrow? So I'll drop it because today's the old podcast day. We stick to the old schedule in the shit area. So I will drop that tomorrow. But before I go, I do want to say this. I heard this great idea that is, I don't know if it's getting implemented immediately or if it's in talks right now, if it's just an idea, if it's going to be implemented. I believe it's going to be happening in the United States, but I like us as Canada. I like Canada to partake in this as well. Beautiful Prezi Trump has, I believe, put out an idea of giving I haven't even read. A lot has been happening in the past few hours. I've not slept much. So bear with me a few seconds here. I've not read into it, but I believe there's an incentive to have babies right now and you get $1,000. I'm not read into it. I don't know how legit this is or not, but it's a great idea. It's not cheap having babies these days. So if you can get $1,000 per baby, and again, it's tough times out there for a lot of people, but I just did the math. And if you go out there and you're like, man, save money, make money, or start a family, make a family, I gotta decide between the two. Yeah, you can combine the two together. $1,000 per baby. If you have, 10 babies, that's 10K. That's 10K in your pockets right there. And that's just the beginning. That's just 10 babies. If you have 100 babies, if you just have 100 babies, you get $100,000. Now I know how hard it is to get a loan out here. I know how hard it is to get money out here. So just think about it though. 100 babies, $100,000. And those babies are not gonna need that money for a long time. 100,000 may not seem like a much, but it's decent. It could be a good start to something, to a little something out there, whatever you're doing. And that's just with 100 babies. 250 babies? $250,000 right there. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, that's a lot of babies. Is it though? Is it 250 babies? They're tiny. They're extreme. I don't know if you've seen babies. I've seen babies. I can tell you, their proportions are like a foot long. You know, weigh a couple of pounds. People about like 10 pounds, 150 pounds. So that's like 250 grand for 250 small things that you could pretty much put in, like, you know, sock drawers, if you will. Sock drawers for now. Later, once you put that money into whatever business you've got going, expand the business, make money off the business, move the babies into better housing. I'm just saying, 250 cash is not bad. And you're like, that's, you know, 250K yesteryear is not the 250K of today, or whatever. $1 million back in the 70s used to be something, but today it's even $1 million is not good enough, man. Well, let's fucking then have more babies than 1,000 babies. All you need to do is have 1,000 babies and you got yourself a cool $1 million. Now think about what that money can do for you and your family. And again, babies, extremely tiny. If you just, now, how you're gonna get these 1,000 babies, you could do, you're probably gonna have to find different women and somehow work this out, and like women need to work with the men. So it's I don't know how I've just thought about the numbers. I've not actually thought of the logistics, but I'm thinking, you know, a woman can do 10 babies. We just, artificial insemination, right? Just shove get a baster, get a turkey baster, and forget regular birthing, because this needs to, we need what, remember, it's the same thing that happened to Octomom. Same thing, but we need to do it with, like, you know, 10 babies. Just turkey-based babies, 10 at a time. And start small. I say start with 10 ladies. 10 ladies, 10 babies. That's 100 babies right there. First year, do that. Second year, amp it up. Scale it. And that way, before you know it, you're a freaking millionaire. And a whole lot of babies, which could, by then, your business is booming. Bring them into the business. Make it a whole thing. Make it a family business. Get a large piece of land with your money that has now accumulated lots of interest and gone up exponentially too, and it's grown like a tumor, but like a positive tumor, not like one of those fucking naysayer tumors, but like a good, solid, you know, reliable tumor. So I hope we can get something like that in Canada as well. All around the world, but it's you know, focus on where you are and what you can do. And so all around the world, I like the message. I like the it's different in different countries, man. I can't. If you like that idea, go speak with your local representatives. Try to get $1,000 out of them. But nonetheless, I like the idea. More money for more babies. Everybody could use some. I'm pretty sure Japan could probably use incentives. I've been hearing about their birth rates going down. Nobody's having Japanese babies. And before you know it, fucking Godzilla's gonna be coming around. There's not gonna be anybody to fight him. What do you think about that, Japan? Beautiful Japanese. You think about that. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back here again on Friday, and tomorrow I will drop the little short sesh. Thank you to Yuck Yucks. Thank you to everybody out there. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out. Love y'all.